Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It is Tuesday, October 1, the year 2013, and the government's been shut down. Congress, the House, the Senate, they couldn't agree. So, federal government shutting down. But Obamacare isn't shutting down, and the congressmen aren't going to lose their salaries. They're sending home all the non-essential government employees. And I've said on past videos, just the idea that we have non-essential government employees in the first place is a problem. But you see, what we have here is government theater once again. Congress, they're like a bunch of unruly children, spoiled brats. I mean, they're fighting over what? Because one group doesn't want Obamacare. And in fact, most of the people in the country don't want Obamacare. But you see, we've got this group called the Democrats who are holding on to this. So you see, this Obamacare thing, it's got nothing to do with the real issue. The real issue is power and control. Because it doesn't matter if it's the Republicans or Democrats, because they're going to get theirs. But we the people, we're left holding the short end of the stick if we have anything to hold on to at all. You know, they have us fighting over what's ours in the first place, our tax dollars. It's ours. It's not theirs. It came from us. It belongs to us. But these guys use these things as political footballs, and they're punting it up and down the field. Meanwhile, they've got their pensions and their health care and their paid-for gymnasium and haircuts. And what do you have? What do I have? What do we the people have? Think about it. Let it sink in. Ponder it for a while. I mean, really, how much more are we going to take? We know it's tyranny, but we're just sitting in the pot as they slowly turn up the heat. I've said it before. I know I'm repeating myself. But the thing is, nothing's changed. Nope. Nothing's changed. So what are we going to do about it? You see, it's a smokescreen. The real question is, while we're focused on this government coming to a screeching halt, what are they going to be doing in the background? How many executive orders is Obama, he's left-handed, going to be signing away our freedoms? I mean, are they really going to bring in the blue helmets? See, that's why they've been stockpiling all the ammo. Because if something happens, they're going to bring in the blue helmets, and those blue helmets are going to need ammo. And if you don't know what blue helmets is, it's UN troops. Real question is, if you see a UN troop, somebody with the blue helmet on our soil and they're armed, should you shoot them? That's the real question. They don't belong here. They have no reason to be here. Oh, and they signed the Small Arms Treaty. Is Congress going to ratify it? I don't think so. It's just, once again, it's just all smoke and mirrors. And as somebody said, Obama, well, he's got strings attached. He's just doing what he's being told. Question is, who's telling him? And why? I mean, who's running the country, really? I mean, you know what? Congress needs a good spanking. And maybe they might wake up. Maybe they might buy a vowel and get a clue. But really, we need to spank them. And there's only two ways to spank them. Either A, we just throw all the bums out, re-elect no one, start fresh, or B, well, I think you know what that means. That's what it's come down to. Question is, are you going to do anything about it? I mean, I posed a question, and somebody said, well, it's good that I put these videos out because, you know, every now and then somebody will see it and then they'll start thinking about it, discussing it with their friends and family. But you see, even as this country was founded by the forefathers, I mean, there was a lot of things wrong with it from the get-go. Number one, they took the country from the Indians, the Native Americans, you know, the people that had red skin, that were here already when Columbus discovered this place. I mean, you know, history is a joke when you really think about it. I mean, if you just step back and go, wait a minute, who's telling the story? Oh, the conquerors are telling the story. Well, what about the people who were victimized, who were vanquished, who were defeated, who were beaten, who were enslaved? It's a whole different story. I mean, and if you really think about it, you know, those words written that founded this country, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, well, back in the times, I mean, you know, I couldn't vote. I was only considered 3/5 of a person. You know, women couldn't vote. So you see, it was hypocrisy from the get-go. Basically, it was another form of tyranny replacing a form of tyranny. Now, before you go, wait a minute, RumpleOne, I thought you were like for the U.S. of A. Well, yes, I am. The thing is, there's a reality check in place. And so, we the people, we're the ones getting run over by our own government. Because basically, you know, we've got somebody in the White House who thinks they're the king rather than the president. We've got people in Congress who think they're the lords of the land rather than the servants of the people. See, it all got flipped over somehow. How? Because we didn't do anything about it when they first started this nonsense. You know, it's really not our fault, even though it's gotten worse under our watch and continuing to get worse. But you see, whenever anybody talks about a revolution, it's just like, no, no. Because see, what would happen is revolution would look really funny. Because you really wouldn't know who to revolt against. I mean, I said it before, I mean, do you revolt against just the feds, or the state and the feds, or the county and the state and the feds, and the city and the county and the state? Who do you revolt against? I mean, if your neighbor works for the city, do you shoot your neighbor because they work for the city? Maybe they want to join arms against you, against the state and the feds. You see, it's just a mess. It really is. I mean, the only easy answer is that we could hit the reset button in some way, shape, or form, and we just start over when it comes to laws, and we make it so that the individual is what's really protected. And it's protected from anybody, any other person or group imposing their will upon that individual. Because that's what it's really about. That's true freedom. That way you can't have the government coming in here and telling me I can't have rain barrels, or I can't plant this, or I can't build that on my property. Or I can't have this kind of gun, or I can't smoke that plant or eat that mushroom. That's true freedom. The question is, can you handle it? Because, as Jay Leno has shown, you walk out into the public and you start asking people, you know, you read from the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and ask people if it's a good idea, and most people go, no, that's not a good idea. Once again, ignorance is bliss, right? Orwell was right. It's just that simple. But anyway, back to the point. This whole government shutdown, it's just government theater once again. And all that means is it's time for you to wake up and smell the tyranny.